On the A-list this time, an angel, an assassin, an activist, an action man, and an artist. Cameron Diaz supposedly once said, "I'd kiss a frog, even if there was no promise of a Prince Charming popping out of it. I love frogs." Clearly, she was joking. One look at the former model's list of lovers confirms she's got standards in the looks department. After splitting with Brat Pack hunk Matt Dillon in 1998, she became engaged to the doe-eyed Jared Leto, before spending nearly 4 years with the singer who claims to be bringing sexy back, Justin Timberlake. Their split in 2007 was immediately followed by rumours she'd shacked up with champion surf god Kelly Slater. At 5'9" tall and of Cuban, Cherokee and German descent, Cameron was thrown into the public eye as a fashion model at the age of 16. 4 years later, and with no acting experience, she auditioned for a part in The Mask with Jim Carrey and ended up as the female lead. She showed she was no flash in the pan and proved her box office appeal with performances in My Best Friend's Wedding and There's Something About Mary. She won critical acclaim and a Golden Globe nomination for her role in Vanilla Sky.
I didn't invite you, Julie.
That was a little weird.
But that's how it works with parties. You have to be invited.
In 2000, she became the second woman to bag a $20 million salary for her role in the chick-kicking classic Charlie's Angels. She proved that girls can be goofy and sexy all at the same time. Having broken her nose several times, she was ready to take a few knocks.
Lucy stepped on a push off my hand. She missed my hand and when it punctured my thigh, basically, with her heel. And I had a big, huge welt all the way down my leg, which was kind of nice.
Second time around in Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, Cameron not only took on a skimpy white bikini, she was happy to go head-to-head with comeback queen Demi Moore.
Tell Charlie hello from me when you see him.
But Cameron's appeal goes way beyond her face and body. She's also in demand for her vocal talent. After giving voice to the ogre princess Fiona in Shrek, she was reportedly paid a walloping $10 million to do the same again in Shrek 2.
I told you coming here was a bad idea.
They're my parents.
Hello, they locked you in a tower.
In 2005, she and Aussie actress Toni Collette played misfit sisters in the comedy In Her Shoes, a film about self-discovery and embracing change.
Living a life of scandal and passion and getting screwed in an alleyway by a billionaire while his frigid wife waits in a limo, thinking that he just went back into the bar to get his cell phone. These are cute, too.
Please tell me you just made that up.
It's a human experience. Yeah. It's something that we all, man or woman, we go through evolution and we find out more about ourselves.
It's about embracing change.
Yes.
We all face that.
At the London premiere, a ring on her wedding ring finger prompted the inevitable question 2 years into her romance with Justin Timberlake. JT himself would give the same short shrift to journalists when quizzed as to why he attended engagements alone.
I'm a loner.
What's your question?
Because if you can't do it alone, you can't do it at all.
On screen, her love life is open slather. In The Holiday, she plays the owner of a successful LA movie trailer business who decides to take a break from her life and swap homes with another woman. When Jude Law pops by, she soon discovers a change of scenery can actually change your life.
And considering that you showed up and you're insanely good looking and probably won't remember me anyway, I'm thinking we should have sex.
But of course, it's not real.
Is that a trick question?
You're acting, you know. Amanda's in love is falling for Graham. Jude and Cameron aren't falling for one another, you know? I mean, I adore him. He's the nicest man. I couldn't have had a better partner to do this with. He's lovely, but clearly, you know, it's not, you know, we are actors and we're putting it out there. We're portraying other characters.
Labelled the sexiest man alive by women and the luckiest man alive by men envious of his relationship with Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt arrived in Hollywood with $325 in his pocket after studying journalism in Missouri. After a few small roles on television, he was cast as Gina Davis's lust interest in the movie Thelma and Louise. 2 years later, he was to star in another road movie, California, alongside real-life girlfriend Juliette Lewis.
Giving that a shot, you mean boy.
Since then, he's played a vampire, a cop, a warrior, an assassin, a con man and a tourist, not to mention a figment of Ed Norton's imagination. But then for Brad Pitt, being an actor is a piece of cake.
Movies aren't that difficult. They're not.
Nor does he take his work too seriously.
I really believe in films as entertainment first, and if they can illuminate some kind of idea, then I'm all for it, but it's not a mission of mine by any means.
One thing he is very serious about is his humanitarian work. In 2006, he took time out from filming to help build homes for the poor in India. He also lent his muscle to the rebuilding effort in New Orleans, after witnessing firsthand the devastation left by Hurricane Katrina.
I don't think it's just celebrities. I think it's just people. I mean, we're just talking about people helping people, and it's that simple. And I see it on the ground as I walk around here. There's some great organizations up and running, and Architecture for Humanity, Habitat for Humanity, I believe, and that are doing some great things. So it's just pitching in. And from September was just witnessing the devastation and feeling like, I guess, the frustration that you couldn't, very little was being done and you wanted to help out, and that we could do better. Katrina was certainly an indictment that we could do better. And I think that's what this was born from.
Devoting so much of his energy to good causes, he's more than entitled to have a little fun on set with Ocean's co-star George Clooney.
Not a bad gig. It was not a bad gig.
No, it's a good place to be. If you're gonna do it over there.
Do it Amsterdam, Paris, Rome, Lake Como, Sicily.
Sicily, that's right. I forgot about Sicily. Yeah, we were all over the place.
It was not a bad gig.
It's a good gig.
Oceans 11 and 12 also star Brad's good friend Julia Roberts, with whom he starred in 2001's The Mexican, a year after marrying Friends star Jennifer Aniston. The pressure was on the high-profile marriage from the start, with the paparazzi and gossip mags probing every nook and cranny for any hint of scandal. In 2004, they finally got what they were after. After reports of increasing tension at Conjugal HQ, the world's sexiest man teamed up with the world's sexiest woman on the set of comedy thriller Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Rumours abounded about a fledgling romance, but despite being seen canoodling at a resort hotel, Angelina Jolie remained adamant that there was nothing between them.
What I feel about him, I think he's amazing. I think he's a great actor. He's a wonderful guy. He's funny. He was a joy to come to work with. He's great.
Having announced his separation from Jennifer in early 2005, Brangelina officially became an item in May. And in 2006, Angelina declared she was pregnant with Brad's baby. The couple and their adopted children holed up in Namibia, surrounded by a media circus, in anticipation of the arrival of Shiloh Nouvelle. After playing an American abroad in the tragic drama Babel, Brad confessed that having children has changed the way he chooses his film roles.
Well, yeah, I do think about what they're going to see, and certainly some of the stuff I've done, what they're going to see when they grow up, and I'm a little concerned.
However, director Gonzalez Inarritu believes that becoming a father has had a very positive effect on Brad.
I think he has been going through a very beautiful experience as a human being. I think that shows in the film.
Careful, they can smell.
Since becoming a mother, Julia Roberts may have retreated from the limelight, but she still holds the honor of being the highest paid actress ever, commanding a salary of $24 million for her role as a teacher in Mona Lisa's Smile in 2003. Not bad for the daughter of a vacuum cleaner salesman from Georgia. Despite taking a 2-year break from acting to care for her twins, She still tops the female movie star list thanks to films such as Pretty Woman, My Best Friend's Wedding, Notting Hill and Erin Brokovich, grossing well over $2 billion at the American box office.
They're two people who have no business being together.
After grabbing everyone's attention as the tart with a heart in Pretty Woman, her private life became at least as compelling as her films. After cancelling her marriage to Kiefer Sutherland, she married and divorced Lyle Lovett, before going out with Benjamin Bratt and Matthew Perry. She also dated Daniel Day-Lewis and lived with Liam Neeson, before focusing her attentions on married cameraman Danny Moder.
Everything about you.
She got an Oscar for Erin Brokovich, and he got a divorce, and the couple married in 2002. Good. In 2003, she starred alongside Jude Law and Clive Owen in Closer.
Dream of caramel.
It's a pleasure to work with a quality actress like her with fantastic dialogue. However tough it is, however dangerous and dark it might be at times, it's still a pleasure.
After filming Ocean's 12, she took a break from Hollywood to have the twins. She also made an appearance on Broadway in the play 3 Days of Rain.
I watch you on that show.
That's mortifying.
When I don't have anything in the afternoon, there you are, shirtlessly doing things.
Are you ashamed of me?
Ashamed.
When you watch, does it make you...
It makes me smile to see you.
That's what I'll think of tomorrow when I'm taping.
You enjoy it, don't you?
It was just a great opportunity, and I was up for the challenge and available. And a beautiful play and a great director, and these guys are fantastic, and it just all came together perfectly.
She was full of praise for her fellow actors.
It's a great inspiration, I think, for all three of us to make this play happen every night in the way that he wrote it. I love it.
The critics may not have been enthused, but her co-stars gave her the thumbs up.
It's amazing, you know. Unbelievable. She's an incredible actress, and, you know, I can't say enough about her.
We all really like each other, and we all spend a lot of time with one another, so thankfully I think we all get along really well. I'd known Bradley before this, but I didn't know her, and I just, you know, really like the rehearsals. It's a pretty demanding play. It's kind of a tragic play, but the rehearsals were a lot of laughs, and the shows are too. I mean, you know, we have a great time.
Aside from her family and career, Julia is incredibly passionate about her charity work. As well as lending her support to UNICEF, she's campaigned to raise awareness about Rett syndrome, a potentially fatal disease that strikes young girls.
I come to you today at a time that has never been more encouraging. I'm so happy to say that. We are all witnessing today the convergence of science and technology is bringing great promise for treatment, prevention, and ultimately, we believe, a cure.
A good friend of actress-activist Susan Sarandon, she recently spoke out to endorse a California oil production tax.
I was stunned to learn when President Clinton said in a speech at UCLA the other day that, quote, at the age of 2 months, babies in Los Angeles have already breathed enough toxins to reach the EPA's lifetime limit for cancer risk from dirty air, end quote. California has always seemed to be the free-thinking, forward-moving pioneer of this country. Well, now, when it counts the most, really, to our children, to all of our health and welfare, to our future, let's lead the way. Let's vote yes on Prop 87. Thank you. Thanks very much.
How long before you can make the jump to lights?
To supplement small roles offered to him early in his career, Harrison Ford was hired as a cabinet maker for George Lucas, who used him to read lines for actors auditioning for roles in his space opera Star Wars. He ended up scoring the part of Han Solo, which shot him to fame. His career went nuclear after Steven Spielberg cast him in the wildly successful Indiana Jones trilogy as the dry-humoured and reluctant hero. Ford's authenticity was supported by his willingness to perform many of his own stunts, although he's always played down his bravery.
First of all, I don't do stunts, I do physical acting.
It's all arranged and choreographed so that it's safe to do it. And the other element that's important is that it can be captured on film correctly, with the energy preserved. But what's important, I think, is to feel the emotional continuity with the character, and to sense his triumph and feel his pain and his exhaustion. And you can't do that when you're on the back of a stuntman's head. You've got to be in the face of the character.
At the age of 64, Harrison was still busting heads and smashing furniture in the thriller Firewall.
I enjoy doing it because it's physical exercise, because it's work. You get a sweat going, and after you're sitting around on your ass for 3 or 4 months wearing a suit and getting rained on, it feels good to roll around on the floor with a couple guys.
He played another iconic role in Ridley Scott's 1982 cult sci-fi classic Blade Runner. Deckard is hired to track down and kill 4 synthetic humans who've hijacked a spaceship to come to Earth and meet their maker. His mission leads him to fall in love with a replicant and raises questions about his own origins.
Must be expensive.
Despite being the most successful actor of his generation, Harrison has scored only 1 Best Actor Oscar nomination for his part in 1985's Witness. However, he does have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, presented to him by Steven Spielberg, with whom he's collaborating on the 4th Indiana Jones film.
And like the car that bears his name, Ford has stood the test of time as a modern-day hero and an old-fashioned movie star with all the tools of our most gifted actors and the talent to use them. Harrison has become a classic in his own time and a class act who looks upon acting as a job and life as an art form.
Harrison took his mother and then girlfriend Callista Flockhart to the unveiling of his star. The couple have since broken up, but any attempts to get him to talk about his personal life have fallen on fallow ground.
Well, I don't answer questions about my private life. And so much kind of tabloid press is not truthful about people's private lives. But I'm not, it's not my job to sit here and correct what's incorrect. That just gives it a second life. So I leave it alone.
One of the personal things he's probably least keen to talk about is the divorce settlement he reached with his second wife, Melissa Matheson, in 2004. He ended up paying out $85 million to the mother of 2 of his 4 children. One thing he is prepared to reveal is the secret to his success as one of the world's most enduring film stars.
I think emotion is the language of film. I think it's very important to establish an emotional context and to keep that going throughout the film. That's how an audience identifies with you, not intellectually, but emotionally in ways that they can't really control.
Colin Firth has been cast in more than his fair share of period pieces, from William Darcy in Pride and Prejudice and Don Quixote to the painter Johannes Vermeer in The Girl with the Pearl Earring.
Is it real?
It's an image. A picture made of light.
Does the books show you what to paint?
Vermeer gave him a conveniently blank canvas to work with, having left little more than his artwork as a legacy.
It helps.
Almost nothing at all, because there's nothing to know, really. I mean, it's all a secret. You've got his artwork, you've got the names of his kids, a few dates, some details about the world he lived in, but he's a mystery in the middle of all that.
What we know about Colin's life is that he grew up in Hampshire, England, the son of a history lecturer, and got his first acting break on the London stage. After romances with Meg Tilly and Jennifer Ely, he married Italian filmmaker Livia Guglioli, and they have 2 sons. He's often cast in the role of romantic hero in films like Bridget Jones' Diary and Love Actually.
Okay, that's done.
This will be hell.
However, he doesn't seem too romantic in real life.
Well, of course. I mean, it's, you know, you love pizza. I love it when my soccer team wins, and, you know, you love your children. It's a word that's hard to escape because you can apply it to almost anything, really. But I'm no expert, so
In 2002, he donned period costume and 19th century manners once again, in Oliver Parker's updated version of Oscar Wilde's classic, The Importance of Being Earnest.
Comedy doesn't last, usually. It doesn't make translations, it doesn't survive history. And this one has, and I think it's because the standards, the double standards that he was attacking still exist. I think as long as people have moral pretensions, it'll still have something to say.
He played another painter in Hope Springs.
Sorry, I didn't know jet lag could be like this. I've never had my hair hurt before. I was talking to Nick Hornby one evening, and he said, I think the film still hadn't, the book still hadn't come out, and he said, there's a thing you should go after. It's just got you written all over it. He's actually even called Colin. And he gave me a bit of a rundown, you know, this rather bewildered Englishman lost in small town North America. And I thought, okay, yes, that's me.
Do you want some?
Not this morning, thanks.
The film, which also starred Heather Graham and Minnie Driver, tanked.
You wouldn't happen to know what colour underwear I have on today, would you?
Word is, you don't wear no underwear.
But Colin bounced back to play widower Mr. Brown, who struggles to bring up his ill-behaving 7 children, who've managed to drive away 17 nannies in Nanny McPhee, written by and starring Emma Thompson. The story, aimed at adults as much as children, had Colin totally hooked.
Good evening, Mr. Brown. I am Nanny McPhee.
Oh, you're, of course. Good heavens.
May I come in?
That you are immediately engaged. It has a pace that takes off from the beginning. It doesn't really let up for very much at all. And just when you think you've caught the tone of the film and it's going to be funny, then something rather frightening happens. And then something rather sad happens. And then you think perhaps the tone of the thing's changed, and then something funny happens again. And it's the kind of thing that you hope children are going to sit there wide-eyed, wanting more of. And I certainly felt that myself. I felt like a child being told a story.
Well, somebody pick this man up, put him on the street.
Another film he made the same year totally blew Colin's wholesome image apart. In Atom Egoin's thriller Where the Truth Lies, he and Kevin Bacon played 2 sex-obsessed stars from the 50s, whose careers nosedive after a beautiful woman is found dead in their hotel suite. Many reviewers were shocked at Colin's on-screen transformation.
I think in Britain, certainly, and possibly around the world, we tend to think of you as playing rather nice romantic heroes. Was it a deliberate effort on your part to become a pill-popping, oversexed bisexual?
A role like that is not usually a stretch for most actors. I have to say. You know, Lord of the Manor riding around on Derbyshire requires a lot more research. You know. No, it wasn't. I wasn't trying to manipulate people's perceptions of me, really. I just sort of go where I find it most interesting, and you know, I feel very comfortable in this sort of drama, really. I mean, the romantic comedy thing came relatively late in my life and took me by surprise, and I'm still rather surprised that I'm so associated with that. You know, roles like this are to be found if you excavate some of the ancient archives of my career.